Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Your boy is dropping one on you out of nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is a little masterclass in my fuck-ups. So today we're going to be talking about the larynx. This wonderful thing here. And it's a really, really important part of singing, which, as you all know, I like to dabble in. Now, going forward into 2024, I think it's important for all of us to make New Year's resolutions, which we all know deep down we won't stick to. And this video is mainly for the people whose resolution is to get better at singing, which is sort of like a background. Do you mind? It's sort of like a background resolution for me at all times, all years. So, we are going to take a little look at some old photos of me from some time ago when I first embarked on my journey singing rock and heavy metal versus now. So, let me just scroll back to prehistoric ages to show you guys what I mean. And my camera just cut out, so not a good start. So without further ado, let's get the photos up and I will show you. Here we have two pictures, but they are not just any ordinary pictures. They are pictures of yours truly. So probably should have told you to take your children out of the room if you have any. What the hell are you doing watching my videos with kids in the room anyway? So on the left is the present day. Now we should probably do this in reading order. Let's swap them around. So on the left is 2019, and on the right is the present day, despite the fact that the present day one is lower quality, and that's because one's professional and the other one is someone in the crowd of one of my gigs. So what I want to talk about today is laryngeal placement, specifically where you engage the muscles in your voice when you sing. So again, learning from my mistakes here, I'm going to point out what I was doing wrong back then and what I'm doing right these days through trial and error. So, God, terrifyingly, almost 5 years ago, you can see here on the left picture, just double check I am screen recording, yeah. So you can see here on the left picture that my larynx is quite high, which is a very obvious telltale sign of a self-taught young singer that might not understand the don'ts of singing and what might be damaging to a person's body, in this case the voice. So you can see here my larynx is almost up to my chin. You can see this part here, the muscles are contracting really, really hard, and it's creating this dimple in my throat right here, like that, like a really harsh dimple, almost sort of like a Death Star trench run going on down there. Not good, because it infers that you're over engaging your throat muscles and maybe not engaging the correct muscles to achieve a phonation that's not going to put strain on the vocal folds. But anyway, you can see here my throat is really, really tense, and again, my technique wasn't as good back then and my knowledge was much less than it is now. So singing from the throat, which is really bad. Now let's look at the second photo, which is present day. This is from a gig from a couple of weeks ago at a venue called Club 85 in a town called Hitchin. So it's a fairly famous venue. It's where Metal to the Masses is hosted, which is a UK competition to find bands to play at Bloodstock, which is one of the biggest festivals in the UK. This was just a normal gig at that venue. It wasn't Metal to the Masses, but nevertheless, same venue. So you can see here, again, probably singing something fairly similar to whatever it was that I was singing in 2019, probably a Judas Priest cover. And you can see my throat is much more flat. There's no dimple, there's no Death Star trench run, but you can still see right here that the muscles are engaged. You can still see where the larynx is moving. But not only that, there's about a knuckle's worth of space between my gullet and my Adam's apple. Whereas, as you can see in the previous photo, the two are sort of making contact, meaning a high larynx, which is not good for the vocal cords. Whereas here, you can see my Adam's apple is fairly low, a low larynx, which is what you want when you sing. And that's something we're taught in opera, which is why a lot of people should look at classical training, because even if the sound isn't necessarily an opera sound that you're going for, you can still achieve proper vocal technique through that teaching. And even if you're doing death growls and vocal fry and false chord stuff, to have a low neutral larynx is really good, and opera teaches that in a way that, in my opinion, is second to none. So as I say, like you can see here, larynx nice and low, much more relaxed, much more singing orientated larynx, not ripping your throat apart larynx. And again, some could argue, oh, well, look at the first photo, it's a higher note. Doesn't matter, your larynx should still be just as low no matter what note you're hitting, and I'm almost certain that if I'm still wearing my jacket, it would have been the first song in the set list, which for Paradigm, which is the band that I'm playing with in this photo, not 10%, the first song is a song we wrote called Killing Blow, which is quite high, and definitely higher in most respects than anything I would have been singing back when this first photo was taken. Even if it was a high scream, again, your larynx should still be fairly low, so it shouldn't make a difference. So there you are, learning from my mistakes. I wanted to show you guys just something, a little something, and also something that's important to note is you can see that I'm bending my neck a lot more in this one, almost like I'm trying to crunch down, almost like I'm trying to give some pressure, give some, you know, it's almost like there's force there, and I've got to pull down to meet it. Whereas in this photo, although it's not good to look up too much when you sing because it stretches your voice out like this, I'm able to keep my head fairly neutral and look up a little bit and still hit the notes, and you can still see the throat engagement, but again, not over engaging like in this photo, but my neck is much more like, you know, up and neutral. Again, low larynx type deal. So there you have it. That's all this video really is. I'm just here to show you guys the what not to do on the left side and the what to do on the right side. Keep your larynx low, no matter what your technique, from your Rob Halfords to your Pavarottis to your guy from Lorna Shore whose name I know but can't get off the tip of my tongue right now. It does not matter. Do you know what? I'll substitute him in for Alex Terrible because he's all the rage at the moment. Fuck it, your Corpse Grinder, Fisher, it doesn't matter. The low larynx is important and will help you from to not damage your voice no matter what genre you're singing. So don't do what I did and do what I do now. Learn from my mistakes. Hopefully see you guys all in the new year.